Alright guys, Hill70 here, and today we're going to play a little bit of a classic simulation game. So right here we got SimCity 3000. I actually had this on a disc for quite some time. I got it in a bundle with Sim Golf, Sim Town, and a bunch of other games. I don't even remember the names too, but I have a city going right now. This is just kind of to experiment with some things. I had cheats going at the start of it, but once I got some money going, I turned those off, and this is what I got going so far. Still a pretty good looking game for being released in 2000, I think. Yeah, this is a pretty nice looking game still. So, pretty much got the basic city layout here. We got industry separated from all the residential and commercial zones over here. It's doing pretty good over here. Commercial's really not looking too great. We got a couple of abandoned buildings flying around. My lower density is actually developing mansions, and that's a good thing. My simulation's paused. Industry, quite massive. We got seaports, just these massive factories right here. Dang. Like, one thing that I do remember is that they always seem to have, like, really fun names to them. Like, I think this one, yeah, this one's called the Muck Factory, and that's just a strange name for an industry, like where they manufacture mud or something. I don't know. Oh, I remember this one. This one was quite a strange one. This one was called the Armpit Sentinel. Sometimes I just never get how Maxis came up with the names for these things. Yeah, so this game pretty much stays a lot truer to the original SimCity games. Like, it's mostly based off SimCity 2000. It took out a couple of things like the waterfalls for the hydroelectric plants and arcologies, or however they're pronounced, but they took those out and just left us with basically the basic city building and added a couple other additions to it. And basically the main concept is still about the same. Like, you put down a power plant somewhere, lay down a bunch of zones, some roads, police stations, fire stations, hospitals, and whatnot, and just turn your speed up and then just watch the thing grow. And it's still a really good system for its time. I know they refined this in SimCity 4, added streets and such to the zone, so when you automatically lay a zone down, it puts streets in it, which is a nice addition. And SimCity 5 zones are kind of strange. I wouldn't say I don't like them, they just feel different. You lay down roads and then you just line the zones along the edge of the roads, and then they would just develop out from those. And I didn't really like that because on curved roads it left gaps in between the buildings, like just huge waste of space from the looks of it. And they took out highways and they just left these huge gaps of region in between cities, and I mean, I never really liked that, and I prefer to SimCity 4's method. But enough talking, let's just go ahead and get to some building. So far I've pretty much expanded onto this half of my city for residential and commercial, but apparently they want more housing, so I'll deliver there. I did want a neighbor connection. Not exactly too great on city building. I just lay down zones. Just hopefully it does what I want it to. If I put an on-ramp along that part. Make an intersection and watered, and it's not. If you don't water your stuff, it just abandons really quickly. You know, I think they actually did take up the piping system in SimCity 5 also. That I don't actually mind because I really hate having to lay down water pipes. Because half the time you can never lay them across the riverbeds, and I wind up building pumping stations on both sides of the river, and that's just a real big waste. And this is all water now, so throw some zones down. And speaking of water, this method from SimCity 2000 still works great here. It's something called pump farming, I think, and it's basically where you just plant little irrigation canals for fresh water and just line pumps along the strips of land on it, and it still works really good. And I think I don't know what the case is in this game, but I think the pumps in this game have a slightly bigger output than SimCity 2000, so you don't really have to irrigate as much. Because I remember back on 2000, I had just like a massive plot of a pump farm, and I mean that just seemed kind of unnecessary, but you needed it. Get these zones in. I always found it kind of funny how you would just have tall skyscrapers or little houses just popping up in the middle of these massive zones, and they look like they don't have any road access, and that's just kind of strange. As you get more and more skyscrapers, it isn't as noticeable. Looks like land value's going down here. I hear sirens. I think the crime rate's gone up here. Yes, it has. I have no police stations in this area. Man, I'm rusty. I'm not exactly sure for a good spot, so I'm just gonna have to destroy that. Yes, we do have coverage, and let's fast forward it a bit. The crime rate should go down a little bit. Let's check again. And it's nowhere near as red as it was. So hopefully this neighborhood isn't as bad anymore with the land value. Looks like this is developing nicely. Trick here to get your land values up is to build parks and like landmarks around your zone, so that way you got nicer buildings around them and higher land value. That's good because people will actually want to live in that part of town. Top ramp on the other side. Weird glitch where if you select the on-ramps, it won't let you place them, like the marker for them just completely disappears. I don't know why that happens. Something I've started doing is just putting fountains along the side of the highway. I'm not sure how big of a boost that gives it, but it just makes it look nice. I do like the 3D engines a lot better. Using one-point rotation is just going to throw you off when you're trying to place stuff in a certain spot. For 3D, you can just angle it at any angle you want and just place it accurately. I did notice one red spot up on the crime map, and it's rendering. I never knew a pixelated game would need rendering, but well, of course it's going to be Alcatraz. That's going to have the highest crime rate in the city. Looks like we're getting some high tech going, and a lot of abandonment. tried putting police stations and whatnot down, see if that actually does anything, but it just doesn't seem to work. Land value. Everything else over here appears to be fine. It's just that all these new zones I've laid out just have, honestly, crap land value. Well, I don't know what to say about this. I'll probably just throw down a landmark and see what it does. I'm running out of options. Let's see. One will now actually look good along these buildings, so let's... Hopefully that does something. And we're getting dead gardens popping up around it. I'm honestly starting to question if landmarks actually do boost the land value. Game's got a somewhat more serious tone to it than the SimCities that came after it. Like, this one just seems a lot more realistic compared to SimCity 4 and SimCity 5. It appears that our power plants that are running at... Oh. Fusion power plants are almost at the end of their life. Let's replace them real quick. I've went through so many power plants, I'm surprised these don't last very long. Makes me wonder if the microwave plants last a bit longer because they're not as energy consuming or whatnot. Well, so far nobody wants businesses. They want more housing and a little bit of industry. What I don't seem to understand is the RCI keeps on going up and up. I zone a bunch of high density for skyscrapers and they just don't develop into higher end ones. I mean, the land value on these ones are high and I'm surprised they don't just go ahead and develop into high-rise residential instead of luxury apartments like they are right now. Yeah, all these are just high land value. My old strategy was just to line a site with parks like this one right here. It's just lined with ponds, and looking at the land values here, land value is very high. I'm not exactly sure what the case is with these that got fountains going around it. I don't know, maybe it's got something to do with like the fire coverage or something. I do not have very many fire stations. Big parts of my city don't Tom Tower just pop up in your city. Like, when I see this come up, I know I'm in good business. And they don't want any more commercial zones. That is unusual. I think it probably has part to do with the fact that I have little to no high-tech industries going. Like, most of it's dirty and a lot of it's abandoned. That's not good. Well, it's good to see that my commercial zones are growing. Well, they're not going to grow anymore because people don't want them around. What the heck, we'll give them more industry. Loot the skies. I honestly don't want to sit around and just build more industry for them when I can just go give them some high tech. So, if I remember the cheat code correctly, it was nerds rule. Hopefully we get more high tech industries trying to develop. Yes, I do believe the cheat works. I think if you get high tech industries, commercial demand will increase and you'll get somewhat of a spike in land value, and then you'll get more commercial high-rises with a boost in high-tech jobs. So we'll just see if that happens real quick. Commercial demand has gone up since I typed that cheat in. And it went back down again. High land value, it's just not developing. But we are getting plenty of high-tech industry. Well, I'm practically just sitting here watching the grass grow, so let's go have a little bit of fun. Save disasters. I don't even know what to choose now. Let's go aliens. And I'll just be helpful and give my Sims a little bit of warning. Let's just let the destruction commence. You know, I think if you build a military base, they actually start getting shot out of the sky, so... Alright, never mind. Yeah, one just got shot out of the sky for no reason. They honestly didn't even do anything. There's no damage, no fires going out of control. Like, they didn't even do anything. They just flew around the city and just disappeared. I saved again. Now let's go set a twister loose. There it is. It's about to destroy my bridge. Oh wait, it just missed. Now let's take a look at the industry anyway. There, nothing more. On 2012, date that never happened. Quite a few twisters going. One went through Alcatraz. the whole university and just left a pile of rubble half the size of what it should have been. Earthquake. It always hits the ground shaking. Yeah. If I am correct, that's probably the biggest earthquake I've spawned in quite some time, actually. They're pretty inconsistent. But we do have fire. And it's slowly going to eat away my city. If that doesn't do it, then the citizens will. And now I'm not going to save you. Get closer with that. Those were the days when you could just go and call in mass riots and just watch the city burn in hell. Maybe they're protesting about my inhumanity. I don't know, I don't care. Burn my city down for me. Just for a group of a dozen so people, they did a pretty good job. Just wrecked the whole joint. If I remember, there was an option in SimCity 4 that just allowed you to obliterate your city. But it wasn't real helpful in particular because it saves your game and just reverts it back to an empty landscape. It's like, well, what's the fun in that? I just want to go watch all my buildings explode. Yeah, I don't think there's any way like getting out of this. Let's go try the aliens again. See if they'll actually destroy something. There was a cheat for that. It spawns like about 4 times as many UFOs than normal. UFO something. See if I can remember it. UFO invasion. God, I can't remember. They're blowing stuff up. Along with the earthquake, aliens are probably the worst disaster you can come across. But I'd probably have to say earthquakes are the worst by far. Like, aliens are just blowing up individual buildings, and earthquake just like tore this whole city a new one right here. Wow. And they are. And it looks like we have somewhat averted disaster. Oh, that's a lot of helicopters. I was gonna say, see what the advisors say about this whole mess. 26 buildings were destroyed. Bah, it's not enough. See, an earthquake, 5.4 on the Van Wobbler scale, and yeah, that's definitely the biggest one I've had so far. Report on alien attack. "14 buildings were destroyed at the cost of 0 simoleons." That that is just something I can never put my head around. And I think that's like the beta image for the UFOs. I don't really know which one I like more. But they appear to be recovering without me bulldozing anything. So I won't. I'm not going to save either. Well, that's SimCity 3000. You'll have fun building up your city to start with, and then you'll have even more fun blowing it up in the end. I don't know, that's just how these games are.